We have now come to the fag end of our first chapter. It's time for us to summarize everything that we learned so far. We first saw how to make our cat move, how to make her rotate. That was the introduction to programming, let's say. And then I told you how to group a bunch of tasks. And there lies the heart of programming, right? We spoke about loops and variables, and I told you how you can make the cat recite tables. And then we went ahead and showed you a couple of fun examples using our newly learned programming skills. It is now time for us to see just a few more topics in Scratch, which we'll take up in the forthcoming chapter.
Here you can see there are so many featured projects available in Scratch. You can always explore them. But before we get into the details of how to design our own Scratch game, there are many important concepts available in Scratch. So let us have a look at them.
Let us start with arithmetic operators. What are those? Pretty straightforward. Pull these this side. Okay? I have put this here. Now I'll enter, let's say, 5 here and 6 here. And when I double click on this, you see I get 11. Double click, 11. Double click, 11. Right? If you change this, let's say, to 15 and then double click, you'll get 5 plus 15, which is 20. Okay? And whatever is the result, if you would want, you can now put, let's say, 10 and 8 here, double click, you will get 2. Okay, now look at this, there is something more that you can do. Let me delete 10 here and let me put this here. You see what happened? I repeat, I can put this here. Do you see what's happening here? I can put this here. So 5 plus 15 is 20. 20 minus 8 is, what is it? Whatever is the answer, you will see that here. It's 12. Correct? And I can go on doing this. In fact, I can take a subtraction thing and then I can divide the answer by 2. I can pull this entire thing here like this. So you take this and place it here. So it is 5 plus 15 is 20 minus 8 is 12 by 2 is 6. Double click and you will see 6. Okay? You can use these arithmetic operators the way you want. And also there's an interesting function here. See what this does? Isn't that self-explanatory? I don't have to explain this to you, correct? It picks a random number from 1 to 10. Double click, 10. Double click, 6. Again, 4. Double click, 1. Double click, 6. Double click, 4. Double click, 1. See, it is very random. It doesn't follow any pattern. Okay, don't worry so much about how exactly this is done. That's a very complicated subject altogether. But you please be aware of this very beautiful facility of Scratch, which gives you a number between 1 to 10 picked randomly. So it is not just limited to 1 to 10 as you would have guessed. You make this 100, it will pick a number from 1 to 100. I just made this 100 right now. Double click, you will get a random number. 22 between 1 to 100, 22, 23, 55, 23, 58, 7, 97, 85, 84. You see there's no particular pattern. You can start from any number up to any number. You can ask for a random number. You will see we'll be using this a whole lot in our explanation. Throughout the course we'll be using this, right? So Scratch is that way very interesting and very straightforward and self-explanatory that you just see it, you could guess what this function is doing. Okay, so let me do something very interesting then. Let me keep this aside, maybe even delete this. Let me do something interesting. Let me consider, let me pick a random number from 1 to 100 and put that here. You see what I'm doing? And then pick another random number from 1 to 100 and put that here. And what is the result? Double click on it. 190. So you pick a random number, you pick another random number, you are adding it. Double click, 144. So sum of two random numbers picked between 1 to 100 is giving you some random number here, some random number here is giving you so much. Okay? 95, 161, 139, 100 and so on. In fact, what you can do is you can make our cute cat recite these numbers. Let's see how she can do it. Go to looks, go to say hello, keep it here, double click on it, she'll say hello. You type whatever you want. You want her to call out my name? Hi, Sudarshan. Double click, she'll say hi, Sudarshan. What you can also do is delete this. Can you guess what I'm going to do next? Pick this and put this here. What will she say now? She will tell you a random number. The answer basically she'll let's spit out. 112, 24, 144, 73 and so on, 104. Okay, I can play around this and make this. Let me remove this. What was it doing here? You see the pieces here? I picked a random number from 1 to 100. This was not required. 10 and 10, not required. You can put whatever you want here, put whatever you want here and make the cat say. I will just make her say 10 plus 20. What is that? You all know it's 30, but let me see whether she says 30 or not. Double click here and she says 30. Yay, that's right. So it's so much fun to keep doing this. You know, you can just try whatever you want, go to the operators, do whatever kind of operation you want and then make her say whatever you type. Right? Isn't that awesome? Right. So now it's left for you to explore these things. And let's move on to the next topic. We will now make our cat ask your age and say something about you. What is that? What exactly does she ask for and what will she do based on your age? You should wait and see. Okay, so now let me teach you something. Go to operators and you see this join. This is nothing but two strings that you type here will be joined as one string. You see, you type, let's say, my name here and a space and you type NPTEL, it will show Sudarshan NPTEL. Okay, whatever you want you can put. Okay, new space and then Delhi here, it will show you New Delhi. Okay, you put first space second, it will show you first and second. Okay, so of what use is this? Let me make the cat do something and then make it clear to you what could be an application of joining two strings. Let me now go to looks and take say and then let me create a variable called name. Okay, done. So name will contain nothing to begin with, as you know it always starts with 0. Set name to, let's say, your name, my name. I'll put Sudarshan. Space. So name will be set as Sudarshan. And the cat will say, call out my name right now. You see what's happening? So it will just say Sudarshan. But I want her to say hello Sudarshan. How do I do that? Pretty simple. Remove this. Say hello here, space, and then put a name here. It will say hello and whatever is the name set to Sudarshan. Perfect. Now click on this. She'll say hello Sudarshan. Is that clear? Perfect. So she's now saying hello Sudarshan, and then I want her to take my age. Let's say I'll create a variable called age and I will set age to whatever is my age. Okay, age is now 35 and I want her to tell me whether I'm an adult or not. Of course I know I'm an adult, I'm 18 plus, but I want the cat to decide whether I'm 18 plus or not. How do I do that? There is something called an if loop. An if loop which does the following. So if the age is greater than or equal to 18, how do I do that? Go to operators. I'm being a little fast here because I have a feeling you people are now familiarizing yourself with the Scratch programming and you're way too comfortable with whatever I'm doing, right? If not, you may want to pause and then try it out yourself slowly and then see what is happening here. Okay? Okay. If the age is greater than 17, if age is greater than 17 means what? If age is greater than or equal to 18. 17 is not allowed. If the age is greater than 17, then the cat will say, it says, hey, you are an adult. You can do anything you want. Although this is not true, you cannot do anything you want. By anything you want, I mean anything that is allowed for you to do. Alright? But if the age is less than something, it must say, oh, you are not an adult. How do I do that? Go to control, go to if, keep that here, go to data, take your age, go to operators, use this less than. If age is less than 18, which means 17, 16, 15 and so on, the cat must say, how do I make her say? Cat must say, oh, you are still a kid. The world is not so open for you. Okay? Now, what happens if I execute this? Let's see. I will click on it first. Okay, so I should put a pause here, you see, that's very important. Control, and I will make the cat wait for, let's say, 3 seconds. And I'm going to set my name to Sudarshan. The cat will say hello Sudarshan. It will wait for 3 seconds. And age I'm going to enter here. Based on what is my age, it will say so and so. Okay, let's see. Double click. Hello Sudarshan. Wait for 3 seconds. Hey, you are an adult, you can do anything you want. But if my age were to be, let's say, 15, I'm far from being 15, but assuming that I am 15, I double click on it, it will now come here, of course say hello Sudarshan, wait for 3 seconds, my age is 15 now, it will come here, it will see that my age is greater than 17, no, which means this will not get executed. My age is less than 18. Yes, 15 is less than 18. So this will get executed. Let's see. Double click on this. Hello Sudarshan. Wait for 3 seconds. And then this will happen. Okay. If you are finding this a little confusing, what I will do is I'll separate this from this. Forget this. For the time being, we'll not worry about this. We'll only look at this code. If age is 15, double click. It says, oh, you are still a kid. If age is 10, what will be the answer? Age is less than 18, of course, this should get executed. Let's see. Double click. Yes, the same thing. If my age was 25, then I'm an adult. It should say you're an adult. Double click. Hey, you are an adult. You can do anything you want. Now, do you understand the importance of if loop? It just checks for a condition and does what you ask the cat to do here. Okay, now let me add a small animation to it, just for clarity's sake. It must say, hey, you're an adult, and move a few steps forward. Okay, it must move some 20 steps forward if one is an adult. So set age is 25, which means this must get executed. It must move 20 steps ahead. See, it says and it moves. Okay, let me give it a pause so that it's visible to you people. Wait for a second and then move. See, it moves. It says, hey, you're an adult, and moves by 20 steps. Again, double click. Says, hey, you're an adult, and moves 20 steps. But if I am 10-year-old, double click. It says, oh, you're still a kid. The world is not so open for you. It doesn't move ahead. Why? Because in my if loop, here, this gets executed and only this is displayed. Correct? Now, if I were to take this and put this here, let's say, wait for a second and then move 20 steps backwards. So if you are not an adult, which is, by the way, the case here, given that the age is 10, she will move back a little. Okay, let me say minus 30 so that she obviously minus 40 also, so that she goes back twice the distance. Double click, she goes back. Correct? Again, double click, she goes back. Correct? She says this and then goes back. Correct? But if I was some 60-year-old, she'll call me an adult and go forward. If I was 5-year-old, she'll say, I'm not an adult, I'm still a kid, and she'll go back. I believe you are seeing her move back here. 5, 40, she will move ahead. Correct? Perfect. Maybe you may want to write this code and then check if it's really working the way it's working with me, right? And you may want to explore how if works with a different example and a small exercise for you all. What do you think the if then else loop does? This is called a loop. Okay, I told you how if then works. If then is what is given here. You must tell me how if then else works. Go on. So before anything, let me attach this here and try executing this program for one last time with my age. Double click, says hello Sudarshan, and my age is given to be this, and it moves forward and says, hey, you're an adult, you can do anything you want. Perfect. So let's move on to the next lesson. So it was a whole lot of fun learning Scratch. I must tell you people that not everyone has this bent for programming in the beginning. It takes some time to season your minds, and Scratch does that to your mind. You will have a clear understanding of how a loop works. We saw how a list works, what's a variable, what's a block. You see, block is something that repeatedly does a kind of instruction that you give, and you can use that anywhere you want. It's actually called a function in programming. We'll see those details very soon. Maybe you're wondering, is programming so much fun? In fact, it is indeed so much fun, but Scratch makes it a whole lot of fun. So let's now switch our gears and look at Python as a programming language. Trust me, if you are very good at Scratch, you will not face any difficulty learning Python.
So you mean to say there are a lot of similarities in Python and Scratch?
I would say they're exactly the same. Although you will not have this facility of drag and then using repeat loop and things like that. Scratch is made for 8-year-olds. Python is a lot more powerful, and hence given that it's a lot more powerful, the way you write a piece of code in Python is very different and can be just a little more challenging than how you do it in Scratch.